Hello, I'm Matti Koivisto from DTU. In this presentation, I'll be showing the concentrated solar power model used in PECD version 4.2. We'll be looking at the key parts of the model and then the simulated generation cases for PECD. The model starts from direct normal irradiance, which goes through a solar field power block to produce electrical power. We can also have a thermal energy storage of varying size. The model is actually unchanged from PECD version 3, so on the model side there is nothing new. But of course we have access to DNI now both from the historical weather, RFI based, and the climate projections, so we can apply the model also under the climate projections. In the model we have several parameters, out of which some are assumed to be given as inputs for every model CSP plant, like the installed capacity and the storage capacity. There are also some parameters like the solar multiple, which can be estimated from the storage size. Basically, a larger storage implies a larger solar multiple, so that we have enough production to put something in the energy storage. Then there are also a number of variables which are simply estimated empirically. And it's important to note that this model is not based on any physical modeling. This is simply an empirical model where the parameters are estimated based on measured data. The heat transfer fluid is modeled as a first-order dynamical system characterized by a time constant. And this time constant creates some inertia in the model, meaning that a sudden change in the DNI doesn't cause an immediate response on the electrical power. And of course, the whole thermal energy storage can create additional inertia, meaning that when the DNI changes, there is a delay until we see an impact in the electrical power. And this is something that we can also calibrate based on measured data, so we get both the efficiencies correct and this inertia and sort of slowness in the system to be correct. We have used measured data from Spain to calibrate the model. First, we took data from the plants without storage to calibrate the other parts than the storage part. And then we took data from the plants with storage to calibrate also the thermal energy storage part. And just to remind that this calibration, as all of the CSP model development, were already done in PECD version 3, so there is no change in PECD 4. The fit to the measured data is considered adequate. We get a histogram on the right, quite similar between measured and simulated data. Capacity factor, standard deviation, mean and max production, quite well aligned. We get a production on those months where we would expect to see that. But of course, the model is somewhat rough. It doesn't model any detailed characteristics of individual CSP plants, so we do not capture the generation profile perfectly. Then, when we have the model calibrated, we have a few different simulation cases we do for PECD. One without any storage, and then one with storage, 7.5 hours of energy storage. That of course implies different solar multiple, also implying different capacity factors. With when you have the storage, then we have significantly higher capacity factor. It is important to know that the storage cases use a dispatch as soon as possible strategy. That can be seen in the figure in the below. The green dashed line shows the power from the solar field, which can be much higher than the installed capacity, so it cannot be dispatched directly, so it goes into the storage. But then the orange line shows that after we can dispatch, we dispatch as soon as possible. So there's no delay from when we have it in the storage and when we dispatch it. This is a dispatch strategy that is simple, but also it does not necessarily reflect in reality how a CSP is dispatched, where maybe due to electricity prices or something else, we might see a delay and the dispatch only happens maybe during the night rather than directly in the evening. We do not model any more complicated dispatch strategies, but the pre-dispatch, meaning the dashed green line in the bottom picture, that data is also saved, so it's possible in post-processing to model more complex dispatch strategies. That was the overview on CSP modeling. Thank you very much.